Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ask Dr. Dan Facebook Live. This is brought to you by Parent Footprint and Parent Footprint Awareness Training. Thanks for joining us today. We're waiting for people to get on here. Today's topic is love enough? I'm going to add, or is it not? It's a really important topic that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And the reason it's so important to think about love is it really is the basis of all of our relationships. It's the basis of healthy self-concept. It's the basis of providing a solid and secure foundation for our children. And it completely relates to our mission at Parent Footprint, where we believe in order to live fully, be happy, raise happy, successful, healthy kids, we need to be aware of ourselves and what we're transmitting to our kids, which starts with what was transmitted to us, or the footprint that our parents placed on us, which we inevitably leave to some degree on our own kids. So this topic, is love enough, came out of a news interview that I was on at the beginning of the year, and one of the anchors said, you know, something that really annoys me is I'm at talking to parents, and parents say, well, I really love my kid. And he said, it's like they think that that's enough. And he said, is that enough? Is love really enough? And I wasn't expecting that question on the show, but it was a great question. And the short answer of it on the show was no, love is not enough. And I've been thinking about it ever since. So here's the deal. Love is absolutely necessary. Loving our kids is absolutely necessary for raising kids who feel secure, who feel valued, who feel loved, and therefore they can take that sense of security into the world and then show not only themselves love, but other people love. But here's why it's not enough. And I'm going to go back about 25 years, sitting in a graduate school class, and we were learning some Freudian theory, object relations theory, and the professor was talking about abuse, and he was making the case about how enmeshed and ingrained the parent-child relationship is, and the child's yearning for their parents' love, and talked about studies and clinical studies that have shown that kids who are abused by their parents, even extremely, significantly abused by their parents, are still looking for love from their parents and coming back for that love, which ultimately in unhealthy relationships perpetuates that abuse cycle. So now here's the deal. A lot of these parents, upon interview, talk about how they love their kids, right? I know parents who have hit their kids, have severely hit their kids, because they love them so much that they want to teach them a lesson so their life is easier and it doesn't get harder later. I know parents who are very worried. They have their own anxiety, and they worry about their kids, and they're always checking in on their kids, and they're always doing for their kids, because they love their kids so much. Now, I'm not doubting the love that any of these parents have for their kids. Love is wired into our DNA because it is part of our evolutionary adaptation and survival. But love does not guarantee healthy parenting. Love does not guarantee that we are aware of our own stuff and not passing it on to our kids. And also, I have to say that love can be used as an excuse to do things that are not healthy for our kids' development because we love them so much. So what I'm asking us to do, and what I'm proposing, is that we take a step back. And we take a step back to think about, how do we show our kids love? Again, remember, love is absolutely necessary. How do you show your kids love? How do they know they are loved? An important way to do this is to think about, when you were growing up, how did you know you were loved by your parents? You know, what did they do that made you feel loved and valued? You can take so much from your own experiences and just being aware of your own experiences by figuring out what are the same ways you can show to your kids that love, that affection, that they matter. Now, equally, we can think about, well, maybe our parents, they said they loved us, but when they did this certain thing, I didn't feel loved. I felt scared. I felt humiliated. I felt shamed. And maybe that wasn't about love. And then ask yourself honestly, are you passing on some of those same things? Because, hey, I'm the first one to admit I can't believe when something comes out of my mouth that sounds like one of my parents. We all do it. Everyone does it. And it's okay to make mistakes. But we just need to be aware of what was positive and what we want to pass on that will show love. Now, here's the part about love being necessary but not sufficient. We need to think about how are we raising kids who are to feel good about themselves and who feel confident in themselves and feel valued and can engage in healthy relationships and negotiate the world. Now, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I mean, what we need to do in those situations is we need to think about what are the skills that our kids need and what are the behaviors that we need to do as parents to give them those skills. Sometimes it is doing something, like going with the child to talk to a teacher about something that's difficult. Sometimes it's not doing something, letting a child figure something out for themselves. Sometimes it is pushing our own anxiety about the world aside to let our child do something with their friends alone, because it'll give them a sense of independence and confidence. And we need to manage our own anxiety. And what I can say here with confidence, after doing the work of psychology with kids and families of all ages, socioeconomic and ethnic backgrounds, is hurting kids, humiliating kids, controlling kids does not give them the stuff that helps them feel secure, loved, and valued. And what I also can say is being an eternal optimist is anyone can have a new day and start to parent in a different way, even if their own experiences were rather severe. It might take some extra help, some extra consultation, but every day is a new day, and every generation is a new generation that we can change the trajectory of some of our family patterns. So, is love enough? No. Is it absolutely necessary for raising healthy, confident, engaged kids? Yes. But it's not sufficient, and we need to take a step back, and we need to think about our parenting goals. We need to think about our family values, and we need to systematically look at how are we going to carry out those goals, just like the time we spend in other aspects of our life, like our professional life. What is our plan, and how are we going to get there? And love your kids like crazy, but also think about how you're going to help them become confident in themselves, feel valued in themselves, be able to show love, receive love, and have healthy relationships in their own life, because that's what you're showing them in your own house. As we close on this Tuesday of Facebook Live with Ask Dr. Dan, I leave you with the same question.